Hello, it is Amnian Nights, and we are returning to the Adventurers Guild after an afternoon's shopping. So to find out what work, what jobs are waiting for us, and what leads await, so our heroes can decide where to go next. So let's get straight in.
Should I be hearing nothing?
Like, not even bar audio of like the
Oh,
background chatter? Then check your settings, because yeah, there's definitely background audio.
maybe
It's
I
just
will
quiet.
reload.
Turn out.
Oh, there we go. What a ridiculous song.
Let's skip it then. Yes, going in. Hubris gives you the usual nod. No, this playlist is terrible.
Love it.
Let's
Oh, there's no way I'm not singing that inside my head whilst everything else is happening.
yeah, don't worry. I'm going back to the usual Adventurers Guild.
We need some lo-fi, just kind of like lo-fi
Yeah.
girl adventure guild.
I will nod at Hubris and then just casually glance at Obsidian.
She doesn't look at Obsidian, she just stares at you.
Obsidian is probably somewhat lost in thought and just absent-mindedly just gripping the painting under his arm. Looks towards the fireplace with intent.
We take possession of the largest table, our usual table. I like to think this is our usual table now.
Sure. And what does Obsidian do? What does Obsidian do with that painting?
Yeah, he just sort of stands just in front of the flames, like has it in front of him, his hands extended, and just looks at it, just sort of gauging how close it is to what he has seen, and if he can like pinpoint any chain placements, and if that tells him anything, like sort of, is this reminiscent of something that he has seen, or is this like more or less like sort of the same place, but not like a this is exactly the picture I have burned into my mind.
Looking closely, you identify the broken, brittle chain. And there is even a blemish that almost looks like a hair stuck to the canvas for a moment that you realise is actually quite vividly purple. And it seems to be in the same position as that thin purple banner that appeared in the vision. This appears to be not just the chamber as it has appeared in your mind, but the chains seem to match the pattern of your visions as well. Unfortunately, beyond where you have walked so far, the detail is lost as it fades further and further back. But this is an exact replica of the chains as they are for you in the vision.
Yeah, instead of throwing it for now, he'll just sort of sit down cross-legged and ponder the painting a little bit more. Not with like any intent to uncover any hidden truths, just sort of stuck a little bit on the fact that it is like trying to like turn it in his mind as if what does it mean?
Yeah, and you see in the bottom right corner, very in white, that very jagged, almost much more crude than like the art of the picture itself. That signature of calcine.
Mm-hmm. Sure. He'll stay there for a while, probably.
At this point, I'd like to think Celia has taken out the pie tart. Pie? Is it covered? Then it's a pie.
It's a pie. Yeah.
It's a pie.
Tartlet. Tartlet.
And maybe some accompanying warm beverages.
Warm beverages.
Hmm.
What are we going for? Hot chocolates?
With some little bit of cayenne.
I'll set you back 4 silver.
Hot chocolate and cayenne whirl.
Hot chocolate and cayenne. Weirdo.
She likes things spicy.
But yeah, you lay out this spread.
Not the most nutritious, but it does look very appealing.
I mean, absolutely. Let's dig in. How good is the pie?
I mean, Krusty Patch is a he's a master baker. That's for sure. All his life he's been called a master
A
baker.
master baker.
So yeah, I think it's pretty good. You can roll for deliciousness if you'd like.
No, I'd rather not roll and just determine that it's really good, just in case.
Yeah, let's just
Poison.
assume that it's good.
Yeah.
Poison.
The pie is good, but roll for your own enjoyment.
Yeah. Celia passes a portion to Asher.
I will take it. Thank you.
Do you think that I might really have a chance of selling some of my artwork if I were to show that art dealer?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, you're very good.
She seemed to have quite high standards. Not sure I'm up to it. Did you put a pie on the floor?
I'm trying to put it on the table, but
It
There
was
we go.
there.
There we go.
Oh, that's so cute. I mean, I saw. I'm not a connoisseur, but I saw what was on the stand, and I saw the picture you did for myself, and I think you could definitely, if you wanted to. I mean, there's no pressure.
Well, I mean, it seems like a good way to make a little bit of extra money. If we don't all die in a horrible apocalypse, maybe I could make a career out of it. I've got a good idea actually of something that might. Who the fuck are these people? Are
several
they coming for our pie?
different members of the guild drift over separately, seeming to arrive at almost the same time. It's like, oh, good afternoon. Sorry, it's a delightful aroma. I do not feel yet we have been properly introduced.
Hi, Ash Vasher.
I am Gizago.
I'm
Always.
holding one piece of pie like a slice of pizza. So I will offer kind of awkwardly my other hand.
It is great to meet other adventurers. I myself always hungry for adventure. It is nice to meet fellows. So we should share a drink together sometimes and trade tales, tips, perhaps a bite to eat. And if ever you wish that, I am around all evening. But I see you have a business.
Before I go and
Yes?
give away DM.
Oh.
Before I go ahead and offer up our pie, can I just quickly vibe check the other two and see if
The
they
other two
seem
are
like
absolutely waiting for their chance to get some
no,
pie.
the other two in my party,
Oh.
like to see if they're a little bit like no, our fucking pie, or have they picked up on the hints at all? I just want to quickly vibe check before I offer the pie up.
I think Asher would know Syria well enough to know that she's definitely a sharer. So,
Okay.
yeah. I don't know about
right. Well then, yeah. As he says, like, or share a drink or something, I'll just, yeah, or you know, we could share some pie right now if you want.
Oh,
some.
that would be marvelous. But almost like, oh, good afternoon. Allow me to introduce myself.
Hi, yeah. Have some pie.
And this third fella coming over is like, just, can I have some pie? That smells lovely. That's from the market, isn't it?
Yes, from a seller called
Oh, why?
Dusty Patches.
If there's 3 of you and they've both already taken, so yeah, you're not gonna want to give any to me. That's too. I couldn't. That's too much of your
slices?
party. Oh, well, okay. Then if you're sure, I mean, I was trying to do a quick maths, but yeah, I mean, if you're offering, I'd love to have a piece. Thank you very much.
Of course,
The-
please help yourself.
The first bite is the best one anyway.
I think I've heard a song about that.
Yeah, and your pie is whittled down rapidly by. It's very much the vibe of in an office when it's someone brings birthday cake in. Everyone sort of swings by and makes a bit of idle conversation for a second, but they all seem quite quickly to remember business they have to attend to and drift back to their own groups.
I think Mr. Patches would find a very loyal clientele if he were to maybe sell some of his wares here and just have them accessible at the counter.
Right. I think you're onto something there.
So am I right in thinking that leaves 2 slices of pie left?
Should, yeah.
I'm not sure if Obsidian has partaken.
No.
Oh, he's gone from the fire already. Where the hell's he gone?
Yes. By the door.
Oh, okay.
As he just walks past Hubris and goes directly to the door, summons the key as he walks, and just walks inside into the bastion.
Okay, yeah. There's obviously that period where you turn the key in the door and it begins glowing for 1 minute. As it does,
Sure.
as it is charging, you hear quietly over your shoulder, Hubris just, is everything well? Do I have reason to be alarmed?
No. All is fine. Just need to leave this. Just gestures vaguely with the painting he's sort of still holding onto.
What are you doing to the door?
I was just borrowing it for a minute.
Interesting. And yeah, your ritual completes, and you just throw him a painting in.
He will walk in, look for the draconic
Housekeeper,
little housekeeper. Yes, that one. Is there anywhere you can store things? There was something actually. We did get an access to something, didn't we? Some sort of. Was there a chest or was there not?
You have
Fine.
the luggage, but Asha has that with her necklace.
Yeah. Okay, so that was I just sort of
Which I
mixed
would-
up
if
two
you wanted
concepts.
to store it there, like, Asher's
That's sure. just not on his mind right now. So he will just indeed just sort of look around, see the empty walls, think about it for a moment, just sort of okay, well, and just sort of slide it across the floor.
I will hang this immediately. And float off.
Doesn't even answer. Walks out,
Okay.
closes the door.
I'm going to sneak some bits of my pie filling into my pockets for my buddy.
Will sort of look towards Hubris and just, I'm not going to make a habit out of this.
The door appears to still be there. Does it now lead outside once more?
Yes. And I think it should have done so anyway, when I was not here. I'm not
You were gone
exactly sure.
a mere 30 seconds.
But I think it was working normally then. Maybe. It is a curious thing. I do not know all the rules to it.
Is that good? Yeah, the pie crowd have dispersed.
Did we have enough time to make small talk with Zargo?
Sure.
How long he's been in at the Adventurers Guild for? How many missions he's carried out?
About 6 years, give or take. I had a brief sabbatical as I traveled, but yes, 6 years.
And did you carry out a lot of work in those years?
Yes, I've been involved in a few expeditions. I found myself assisting the Flaming Fist a bit more than I would have liked. I was essentially conscripted for a while, but yes, you may have heard of the Manticore of Star Lake. I was part of a group that took that beast down, as well as the great Otiyu of the Umar Hills. Both of those I was heavily involved in. Yes.
So they will continue making small talk about the creatures and the beasts and how to slay them, or interested in learning about the beasts and the creatures that he kills.
What creature would you like to know how to kill?
I don't think I've ever come across the Manticore. They seem daunting.
The what?
A Manticore.
What is the first thing you said? They seem
Daunting.
daunting. People do not expect them to look so human. They may have the head of a lion, but there's a face of a person on that lion. It is their...
There is?
Oh, yes, and their language and their eloquence is quite disarming. You expect a flying lion, but to have it then begin speaking to you in strange tones, it can disconcert.
So, they're not like a beast then, right? They're just like people?
Whatever they are, it is monstrous to behold them. They are cruel and cunning.
So people.
We had to collapse a building on top of us. It made retrieving our spoils very difficult.
I once heard of a guy that kept an Otyugh as a pet.
For waste
everything
disposal.
in sight.
Yes, I heard of in Neverwinter there was a serial killer who would feed his victims to his pen of Otyughs.
Oh. Grim.
His what?
His victims, he would feed them to Otyugh.
Otyugh what?
Waste beasts.
They're like, they live in the sewers a lot, and they
Mm,
have
very
like
often.
weird flaily arms with eyes and teethy things.
Nature's waste removers. Food scraps, excrement, discarded clothing. It is said that many well-to-do lords and ladies actually have a special chamber with an Otyugh beneath their homes, in which all the household waste is simply sent via complex chutes.
Honestly,
Into
that's
them.
smart.
Anything else you'd like to know? I have a bit of a tummy ache.
It was nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you all. Goodbye. Have a good day. And he goes and sits in a chair and takes the book out.
Is it a fantasy book full of fanciful creatures? Was he bullshitting us?
No, it is a book called Rhythm of Peace.
Mm. The pie was definitely popular. Does anyone else want anything else for dinner?
I'm good.
Oh, I think the pie was quite filling. That'll do me for now. I might spend the evening working on a little bit of painting. Although, of
Oh.
course, first we should speak to Magira.
Is there a slice left, DM, that we can slide to Megara for
I
favorable
believe there are
treatment?
2 slices left. I don't know if Obsidian did not take a slice, did he?
No,
And there are 2 slices.
not yet.
Obsidian hates fun and tasty things.
He's like, I want to cut up a moment.
Megara, join us. Would you like a cup of hot chocolate?
No, thank you. I would speak to you, but I will not take any refreshment at the moment. Although I appreciate the offer. I told you that I would let you know when there was work, and so that is work. If you are partial to coin and adventure,
Yeah, what's the work?
shall we speak in the back? For I know
Oh, right.
Clem also wishes to speak to you.
Oh, is he back?
Indeed.
Cool. Yeah, lead the way.
And she leads the way that you know very well.
I'll say, hey, babe, to Chicky. On my way.
I will give her the last 2 remaining slices of pie.
Okay.
For you and Hubris.
Oh, thank you very much.
Potentially better spend on Fandango, but you know what? It's done now.
And Clem sort of looks across the walls like just, my friends, I believe that Magira wishes to tell you of business first, and then I'll tell you what I have learned of our affairs, yes? And yeah, Magira is like, says, so we had a... Are you any of you familiar with Zoroastria?
The what now?
Zoroastria.
The
Remind me, are any of you from
no.
You're all from
No.
wide. Then make me a history check.
I'll say, in my many readings, would I know of something?
Ooh, gosh.
We're a learned bunch.
Mm.
Some of us.
Oof.
It must be a familiar thing, a family thing.
Is Obsidian rolling?
He did. 13.
His has not shown up for me in the chat log. It's interesting.
It was the first one.
So do we have Pip 20, Sire 18, Asher 0?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, everyone except Asher knows that Zoroastria is just a region in the south of Arm, south of Athkatla, but north of the Small Teeth, and it is a region of mostly swamp plain. If you're looking to find more info about it, I have unhidden it from the Faerun map so you can see where it is in relation to Athkatla. I would also give to you that Pip and Sire know that Zoroastria doesn't have much there except ruins. It was said to be a city of the former ancient empire of Netheril, which was destroyed abruptly in great calamitous events, and it is fairly inhospitably wild in this particular region, but that many old relics and trappings of bygone ages are said to be found for those daring or foolish enough to go looking for them. So yeah, that is knowledge that I would say the Gladstone siblings have with their roles. Several months ago, we, being the guild, Faerun-wide, not us, discovered a temple in the swamp, which was rumoured to be an outpost of the Nephidil many thousand years ago. We didn't hear much about it at first, except a few different groups were sending bands of heroes and researchers and scholars there to see what they could find and uncover, but eventually word came back to us that not a single one of these groups had returned. So we dispatched an agent of our own, I believe from Waterdeep. I think this particular fellow went. I got word today that he did not meet his guide. He employed a local guide to take him through the swamps to this temple. She agreed to meet him after 1 week, and he has not shown. She waited another week and has made it back and sent a message. So 2 weeks since he was last seen, 3 weeks since he entered. We don't know what lurks within the temple, but it is rumoured to be full of spoils and certainly old, and so there is be off aware of the majority of whatever is inside if you track down our agent and see what has happened. I do not have the name of the agent, but they are likely to be the only person in there who is representing the Adventurers Guild. You can either find and speak to them, or, sort of grimaces a little bit, look for a pin similar to your own on a corpse. What do you think?
Do you know what he was sent out to do other than just plain reconnaissance?
I think he was mainly looking, hoping that whatever was in there that had clearly gotten the better of these explorers and adventurers would fall to a member of the Adventurers Guild, and that the spoils would be his, but we still don't know what is inside.
Very foolhardy for him to go on his own.
The greatest acclaim and reward is for those who take the greatest risks. Clem nods very, very sagely, stroking his moustache and leaning back a bit. Now, I wouldn't expect you to depart today. I'm sure you'd need to get some preparations, but if you decided to pursue this inquiry, I could send you there in the morning, the usual arrangement. Or if you wished to pursue other leads, I know you mentioned you're waiting for information on a few matters. I can see if somebody else will look into this.
It will probably depend on what we hear from Clem now.
Clem just like claps his hands, just like a spectacular introduction, my friend. How are you? Are you well?
We are eager.
Extraordinary.
I mean, I'd say. So you wanted me to look into the Azure Court. I have some small morsels of information for you. Would you like a taste? Of course you would. They've been rather secretive, very discreet in their actions and their ways, but I have tracked down their activities, though it comes with a curious and foreboding twist. They have recently been active in Westgate, if you are familiar with that particular settlement. Then, a month later, in Elversult, where they remained for some weeks, assisting with local inquiries and matters that plagued the small folk. Then, they left again, still heading west to, Obsidian, that's right, Priapel, the next city along the main road, where once again, they assisted the locals, did their usual thing, forces for good, aiding with local issues, and then they set off west after a few weeks. Now I know what you're going to say. Easting or Iriabor. And he leans forward, they never arrived in either. A contingent of some 20 to 40 members of the Azure Court, riding out as a coterie west from Priapel. That road leads only to Easting, and then furthermore to Iriabor. And yet they did not arrive. They left the road. Or perhaps this plane. What think you of that, my friends?
Forty.
Mysterious tale.
Hmm?
A mysterious tale indeed.
This is what I thought. Travelling a steady path, east to west. Gone, like a fart in the wind.
Poetic.
Thank you. I try.
And I presume there's no signs of any trouble on that road.
Well, I haven't been there myself. This is all information mongering, but
I understand.
The small folk of Priapel. Oh, the Azure Court. Oh, marvelous. Nothing but praise. And word travelled west, and eventually, it seems there were some contestations between the cities. The people of Easting started to suggest that there was some great jape, and that the Azure Court had never even been in Priapel. But the evidence shows it. They were there, they just went somewhere else.
And 40 of them traveling just
And
down
you
the
can-
road,
you can
going
see
up
these
in
cities,
places.
You can see these cities on the Faerun map, any of you who are
Okay.
unsure. It's kind of northwest of Gulfmere. You see Westgate, Eversalt, Priapel, Easting, and Iriabor. There's a road from east to west.
Okay. I see. Cool.
I will put a marker on the map where it would seem
Interesting.
that they stopped being accounted for.
Yep.
I've put a red helmet at a point where you're allowed to see it. You're not laughing because I said red helmet, are you, monkey? You
I
fucking
was just typing in the
child.
chat, you're a red helmet. Good times.
In that case, it's now a purple helmet.
That's worse. Much worse.
How is that?
You're a red elf.
Do you know much about how they were traveling? Do they travel with on beasts? Do they walk?
I mean, I believe they typically travel on. I've heard tell of beautiful steeds, fantastically kept horses.
So the men and women and their beasts all vanished.
Down to the last hoof and hair.
Did anyone mention anything about them having to keep moving west? Is this normal procedure for the Azure court? Just short postings in settlements and moving on?
From what little understanding I have, they do whatever the hell they want. I mean, they're always within the law. They are quick to raise their swords, but not bullies. Not quite knights in shining armour, just always ready for a scrap if they feel there's a just cause for it. But I know that they're kept on a fairly strict regimen by their commander. They have appeared for prolonged periods of years in the past, but then they've also vanished. This could be simply one of those vanishings, or it could be something more urgent arose.
Impossible to know.
GM. For reference, where on the map is the job that Megara was talking about?
South of Athkatla.
Oh.
It's a
So
exclamation
this is
mark.
not a
with
two
stone
birds
mark.
with one stone
No.
sort of
No.
situation. Okay.
Alas,
Damn.
it is not.
Yeah, we should probably
Well-
gather more quests on the map so that we can pull them together and do one expedition. Just
Yeah, listen, you go to the quest
knock them all
giver,
down.
you pick them all up, you go out, do them all, and then come back, turn it all in. You get like 3 level ups. It's great. Okay.
Yeah, you're doing
Well, we-
classic. You're doing classic WoW level at the moment.
I
Get one
know.
from guy
Go
over here.
all the way out. I've killed 50 things. Not one spider sack has dropped. Okay.
Well, I guess the missing agent seems slightly more urgent in that his life may still be saved, and perhaps in time the Azure Coterie might reappear, as you say, or finally make it to the next settlement.
Disappearances.
What's the deal with the Azure Court again? Some dragons in charge of them, and they do jobs for
Potentially.
hire or something.
Would seem
I
so.
can't tell if this is above or below the table.
We'll say it's Asher asking. That's fine.
It's warriors, sometimes called mercenaries. They follow a powerful sapphire dragon by the name of Azuria Deepshield. It seems that they do tend to pop on and off the map on a regular basis.
And they're Azuria Deep Shield good dragon or bad dragon?
It seems to me that Avalon has had some dealings with her in the past.
Who is
She runs a paladin order and travels the land for centuries at a time,
Okay.
fighting injustice.
So potential ally.
Potential
Potential
ally,
ally.
As despicable as they
That we're
come.
trying to track down versus some dude that went missing on a job. I mean, I'm down with whatever you guys want to do.
Well, I'd be keen to find them, but also the trail does seem slightly less traceable.
Maybe they're like us and they've got a key that just they went somewhere and went where it was.
Yeah. We can
Potentially.
probably presume that the missing man is somewhere around the area he disappeared in, but who knows where the court actually is. Also, would the guild help us move that way in any capacity? I don't believe this is within the guild's purview to just seek out the order.
We would need to contrive some reason to get you out in that general direction. We can give
Would
that.
the potential end of the world be a good enough reason?
You do say this quite a lot, but
Because
again,
that's
I
what's
am
at stake,
answerable.
my
I am
guy.
answerable to others. And where's the sense of growth, Asher, if you're just magically teleported everywhere?
I mean, it's more just like using the resources that you have at hand. We are dues-paying members.
It's true. We will see what we can do. However, we already have a few devices primed for very specific teleportations at the moment, and I don't know if we have the instruments to configure any new ones at this time.
Right.
What about this?
How-
What if we go find your guy, and then you give us a lift to up near Easting?
This sounds like fair trade. You do the job and we give you a freebie?
Yeah. Alright, just one little... Can we keep any of the loot we find while we're finding your guy?
I was hoping you wouldn't say that. Yeah, it's a great portion, as ever. The usual 80-20 split. The guild has to have
Fair
its
enough.
funds somewhere.
Just wanted to make sure we covered that.
Yes,
Thank
yes.
you so much.
Asher is definitely the kind of person who would spit in her palm right back, isn't she?
Yeah.
She had it pre-spitted.
I have prestidigitation. I don't bathe, I just flip. Instantly clean. It's the greatest spell in the world. That pie I was eating, it was like dripping down my hand. There's no sign of it now.
Megiddo, do
Maybe.
you or the guild have any resources on Zoroastria? And more importantly, the Netherrealm Empire. Do you know if they were versed in magic or...
Neither
I'm
of.
sorry, were you asking me if the Nefertiti's Empire knew anything about magic?
I mean, even I know that. They knew so much magic they dropped out of the sky.
Yes, but he just doesn't know any lore of this game whatsoever.
Okay, so Neferil, this is above the table, is very... Did you watch Critical Role Season 1 or 2 to complete?
Yes, is this basically
This is
like
This is
the...
Aeor.
Oh.
This
Sure, okay.
Neferil is just like Aeor. Huge,
Okay.
floating magic so advanced that it starts to like look like sci-fi in a fantasy setting. Great calamity I won't get into happened, and like all these cities just came fucking plummeting out of the sky.
Okay.
Hugely devastated like the surface of a lot of the planet. The Empire was like wiped out. I think it was Carsus's folly with Neferil, I think. So just slightly tie into Baldur's Gate 3. And yeah, just wipe.
Oh, is that the magic he's gotten in? Gale. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sure,
Yeah,
okay.
An object of Netheril.
Sure.
So yeah, huge devastation, and that empire just like ceased to exist. But dotted around Faerun in like craters or ruins or places are just like hugely advanced relics from this time where it's like, hey, we've lost more than we ever knew, sort of thing.
I feel like it's like the Doom of Valyria. Everyone
Very
knows
much.
of it.
Very
Yeah.
much. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm completely up to speed.
Anyone would know about that.
Even
I feel like.
Asher.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
would be like, I'm sure there are fellas down the pubs playing darts who did very badly at school who know what Atlantis is meant to be. It's like that level of infamy in the world.
Gija appreciates you filling in her lore holes. And
Phrasing.
We still
retreats
doing
the question.
Okay. So yeah, that is said. In terms of preparation, I can give you if we knew that there were relics readily to be found and where they were, every wizard on Toril would be there. So, in terms of preparation, I can give you. Expect an uninhabited swamp. There are small clusters and lodges. I know that there is a guide in the region who we can instruct to meet you, or possibly send you even directly to. We'll see. Clarency. I know that she has lived out there for some years, and it was her who guided the last groups to the temple, or at least the Adventurers Guild associate.
Is this should we prepare for potential diseases on this swamp? I'm aware sometimes blood stagnant bodies of water can breed certain.
Certainly, sturges, leeches, flies, all the fun beasts of the swamp, even before a chance for any maladies and malaise to befall you.
Delightful.
Pip, you hear a voice in your head.
Oh yeah.
Lucky me.
If this is the scholar Pip, this is Dawn Master Earthaball. Are you there?
Being familiar with such spells, he will respond mentally. Yes, greetings, this is he.
There is a few moments pause for I have received additional information regarding our agents. Where shall we meet?
Guy from the temple, right?
The main guy from the Temple of the Family. Yeah.
Then I will just respond, we can meet you once again at your temple, if that suits.
You talking out loud?
No.
Okay.
Is it not? Okay, cool.
I don't know. If
thought
I'm hearing in my head, I presume that I could respond in my head.
I think you can. Yeah.
Sure. Yes, you left the temple this morning.
Rip.
Was fast.
Very well, I shall await you here. Kind regards, Dawn Master Earthaball.
Also, either he's really close by or he's just cast sending like 3 times.
I mean, why not? He's like some high-level paladin.
He'll lower his voice slightly despite the fact
He's in the
sat
door,
there.
in through the window, you can see him going. He's running back to the temple now, like.
By the way, gang, Grand, was it Grandmaster Earthaball? Dawnmaster.
No, Grandmaster.
Dawnmaster.
Dawnmaster.
By the way, Dawnmaster Earthaball has some news for us, so we should go back to his temple when we have the time.
Oh.
By which I
Right.
mean this afternoon or evening, because he's waiting for us.
Oh, right. Okay. We're like just there.
The information comes in when it comes in.
You're very, very busy and popular, it seems.
It would seem.
I almost feel bad telling you about Mithras.
Oh, God.
I'm joking. I have no updates yet.
Okay.
I do have the word out there trying to find out where he is. And you're quite sure that regardless of where you are and on what business you'd like to be informed, if and when we find ourselves making a decisive strike against the old White Death, yes?
Yeah.
Would like to know, yeah.
Very well. It may be so beyond you.
I mean, whether or not we're in a position to join you is...
Very well. Very well. That will be an experience. If we can track the blighter. That's a problem. Don't need to eat very often.
They don't?
But when they do, gosh.
It seems to me, whilst I take your point, Asher, that the Azor Court would be an incredible ally and also very informational when it comes to plane travel, if that is indeed what they do. It might be that they are just doing what we do and take a little break from this plane and might reappear. We don't know if they've disappeared for voluntary or involuntarily.
Well, either way, if we find this guy down in Hersuria, then, you know, we got a free ride out there, so...
By my calculations, that would be the fastest way to get there if we were otherwise to not have transportation. So,
So even if it leads to nothing, at least, you know, we won't have been spending weeks on the road to find that out.
This is a complete long shot, but Pip or Clem or Megira, are you familiar with anything that can maybe temporarily disactivate magic? Is there a shop somewhere here where we could perhaps inquire about something like this?
You're breaking up quite a bit. Is there anywhere that can, what,
Deactivate magic?
Like basically a scroll of like the spell magic and things like that. Would have to go to like our favorite Tulgirius guys, right?
Right, sounds
Before
like
we
you mean
solve
there
that.
are obviously spells. There's, you know,
Well,
silence.
Dire, I am
dispel
indeed
magic.
familiar with such magic. So,
There's your man. I think. Sorry, I don't wish to presume. You're very familiar.
No, I understand, Pip, but
What
rather
were
than
you
explain to you,
dispelling?
I didn't actually cast it,
I just flared.
but I do have dispel magic.
yes. I'm just like, do we need something more than your spell slots? That I don't know. Yeah, maybe there's
If
like
there's
some
something
sort of money.
better than a level 3 dispel, then we probably can't afford it anyway.
God damn it.
But dispel magic should be pretty good for a decent amount of magic items or threats. I have counter spell as well.
Always ready for any situation.
Oh, of course.
Good news, by the way. If the Dawn Master's information pertain to the Ashberta situation that is nearby, where the Azure Code was seen, well, more or less.
On this image, yes. If we refer to the key at the bottom, it is still almost 300 miles away.
Yeah, that's
It is a big
about
continent.
as far as Zioarastria.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, when you said good news, he's like, yes, I know, Haviland's out of town. Ha! No, I'm jesting, of course.
Yeah, like, I mean-
respect.
and it is comparative. Like, the distance from where we are currently to where Fire Pearl.
Yeah.
Half a continent's worth.
Yeah, I don't like the egg pot hills.
Like crusty pustules.
Very weird. So, anything else you want to ask me before you go and visit the House of the Gods?
How you doing?
He seems a little taken aback by the question. Like, I'm well, thank you. I look forward to the next League of Legends. It's still a few weeks away, but always
Is there an expansion coming?
always enjoy a good tourney.
When's that?
Yeah, after that.
A couple of weeks. It's normally one per month.
Ah,
Yes,
that's,
I'll be looking forward to taking part in that again.
that is
Do you
quite
think
often.
you'll participate?
We'll see if we're not occupied
Not
with stopping
dead?
the end of the world.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
When it comes to the League of Legends, though, on the topic, have you ever discovered who the mysterious swordsman was, the one who won the whole thing last time?
I did ask him, but he just said his name was a secret. And I just thought, a lot of these swordsmen like to take on romantic, charismatic identities and all things like that. But to outright come out and
Interesting.
say it, so flatly seemed a little on the nose.
Interesting. I would think that keep a secret in a setting like this with all this supposed glory be rather difficult a task.
Especially when he wasn't even like wearing a mask. I've seen that plenty. I mean, we're a city run by wizards in masks.
Well, wonder if he makes a reappearance.
It's true, he was tremendously talented. I found myself on the back foot rather quickly. Still, I decided not to go all out. Didn't want to terrify the masses, you know?
Gotta keep it chill.
A Clem unleashed.
Right.
And Megara just gives a sort of a pat on his shoulder. But how are you all, to return the extremely generous inquiry into my well-being?
Not so great.
This question has been asked, hasn't it? When we enter the room,
That's true,
Right.
but
just
I felt like
she
by asking
looks at
me-
others.
I felt like by asking me, we were inviting a more personal call.
No, I was just asking, but yeah, I mean, if you're returning the question, I don't know, man. We had a whole encounter with the bad purple dragon a while back. Not that like fucking yesterday. I don't know anymore.
Have you told him that already? I can't
No,
remember.
this is her telling
So
me.
you encountered Sandax.
Oh yeah. So
Where?
he, you know, so
Maybe we
he
shouldn't
plays.
spread it around too much.
Man, if we can't trust Clem,
If you say so.
we're so far up shit creek that like we can't like listen, we were meddling with some magic items and got ourselves, I think, noticed by him, and he talked to us, and it was not great.
Have you destroyed them?
We have them locked away. The way to destroy them is still unknown. But they are safe.
Do you require assistance?
No, we got it handled. It's just, you know.
And
We
did
do?
What did he say?
I don't know, a lot of threats. You know, I'd call it blustering, except it's probably not, you know?
Specifically?
Oh, well, you know.
This seems like a much larger deal than...
I'm gonna look around because
And like he stood as well, I
does
think.
Clem know where Pip is from?
Yes.
Yes.
He did go rummaging around in Pip's mind, getting clues on what he's done wrong in the other here. So that's not great.
No, it is not.
No.
He already has such power, and his power level will only grow.
So, big
Over.
Perhaps to 9,000.
big old punch in the dick, that one.
Big old punch in the dick.
Perhaps you should listen to Havalan when he asks you to commit some of your resources to our cause.
I have done all that Haviland has asked and more. I'll have you know. Has he suggested otherwise?
I think you may have, from my own recollection.
It's more just the vibes we were picking up between you two.
Something about it not being a particularly profitable way of life or investment. I may have been wrong or misunderstood.
Everything that has been asked of me, I have provided. And I've provided more because I consider myself fond of you. And I feel
What has he...
the day grows ever longer. And my understanding is that you have an urgent summons from the head of a religious order in this city, do you not?
Right. Say no more.
I think we should chop and climb down from one's perches within my derriere.
Yeah.
Forgive me,
Of course.
it's a Selgordian term. But yes, rest assured, I will continue to aid you however I'm able. Regardless of the commands and instructions of haughty kobolds.
Well, thank you for your help. And
It's very appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
It's fairly haughty.
He truly is. I find it most unpalatable. Where I'm from, people are much more sociable and gracious with their requests. But this isn't the point. Tend to your business.
all right.
So be like,
Thanks again, Clem.
on my world.
Yeah. Dropping breadcrumbs that he doesn't want us to pick up, but keeps dropping. Very, very helpful.
I'm on the wrong map. I'll head back here. All right. Asher will make her way out of the. She's gonna look at Megara like, we're gonna go check out this temple thing, but then we'll be back for dude. Are you walking there? To
What are you talking about? No, I told you earlier I can send you to meet
Right, the
contact.
guide. Right. Cool. All right, well, we're gonna go check out this temple thing. We'll be back.
Very well. You hear, as you're leading, just Clem, bloody Haviland. Can you believe the audacity of that little snake?
Obsidian will
Don't
be leaving.
tell him I said that, Megara.
Obsidian will be leaving the room last, and before he leaves, he will sort of turn to Clem for just a moment.
You asked how we were, and I suppose I didn't get to answer, but haunted by the echoes of my past is probably the best way to put it.
So, any other business you want to tend to here? Or are we heading straight to the Hall of the Rose, which is the Temple of Lathander?
I think I mean we can do this now or we can do this later. But it would be probably a good idea to see if we can find some sort of like potion of resist disease or something like that. But I don't. We can do that tomorrow. It's just like if we want to leave immediately. I think we should get some supplies for the swamp, basically.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Are you wanting to do that before the temple? I think we might do the temple and then stock up on what you need and then set off in the morning.
I think I'm being a little bit too realistic about this, and I'm concerned about opening hours. But if that is not a concern, then
yeah, but you know, it's a Thursday. We'll say the shops are all open a bit later.
Late night shopping.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Can't wait to revisit the promenade.
Oh, you got to walk in again, yeah. I will take us to the Hall of the Rose, but I think given that we are on a scene change, slightly earlier than usual, let's take our 10 minutes. I see we're already going to talk to anybody, and then we'll plow on afterwards. So let's take, and we are back, arriving at the Hall of the Rose.
Hip will take the initiative to lead the way since he received the message. I'm not sure why he received the message, but still. I still think this is a really weird, awkward layout.
It is a map from this theme.
The weird, awkward layout theme.
It has.
Is this not like a stepped up platform in the middle?
So
Yeah, but there's ponds and flowers, so you're not going to step over it, are you?
It is interesting.
So instead, I have to squeeze past and then go under these trellises.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a carpet that leads to them anyway. This is not a topic for right now. Hello, Dawnmaster. I'm sorry if we kept you waiting. We came as soon as we could. We were just in a meeting with the guild leader.
I'll have you know that highly skilled engineers and architects designed this temple, and its layout is in direct accordance with Lathander's holy tenets.
Of course. I totally love the Dawnfather.
Good. Thank you for attending so swiftly. Apologies also for sending a communication directly to you. I'm ashamed to say you stuck in my mind most vividly. I'm yet to see one of your another one of your kin, and so you came to my mind quite easily.
No
Feathers in
problem.
her hair.
It's very strange for me having not seen any of my fellows either.
I hear they are very few in number, but yes, I have not seen one in all of my years. So, please take a seat with me. Sandriel, give us 10 minutes. And the other woman who'd clearly been keeping an eye on you nods and just drifts off over towards the brazier. And yeah, he steps back and takes a seat in the pews in a way that allows others to sort of sit around if they want to say, sit, stand, do as you will, but so word has come from Eshperta, but it's not the sort of news I was hoping for. Kasha has sent word, not from herself, but via a travelling sorcerer who was passing through the town, giving word that Calrock is dead, and he was the means by which she sent magical communication. Apparently, 4 days passed. The entire town turned to darkness. The sun simply did not rise in the morning and has not risen since. And this has meant that attacks by the undead have increased. She sent out a summons of aid for anyone in the region who could assist, but so far there has been nothing forthcoming. And so we have one dead Dawn Singer, and another trapped in a city plagued by eternal night. This is what I know. I told you I would give you what information I had when I received it. These are obviously the most dire of omens. Have you encountered anything like this?
I was just about to ask you the same thing. What could she possibly mean? The sun has failed to rise.
It has remained night there, in its entirety, all day for several days.
What does it look like from the outside of the town? Like, are we talking just like a big, like, black cloud?
I asked her this. When you get within a certain distance of the town, it appears that there is an eclipse taking place at all times. Withdraw far enough from the city, which seems to be treacherous as it is surrounded by undead, it would seem, and it gradually fades.
Okay.
What manner of undead besiege the city? Vampires?
It's not a
Ghouls?
traditional siege, but the woods and the surrounding fields, farmers have been killed trying to bring in the crop before it wilts with the lack of sun. There are ghouls, ghasts. Certainly I've heard of the report contained mention of vampires.
In most dire situation.
It seems to have arrived from nowhere. I'd heard there was trouble in the Troll Mountains to the north, but it seems to have spilt down. To those of you who do not know where Ashburta is on the map, in character, I know players might be a bit like, huh? I will unhide Ashburta on the map. It is south of the Snakewood.
I don't understand. Do you think this is a natural phenomenon, or
If it was
the
natural, I
concept?
imagine everybody across Faerun would have seen it. Like he gestures up to the open ceiling where the sun is clearly shining overhead.
So, like, the sound, turning to the others, like, this sounds like a really powerful spell. Do vampires do magic? She's asking in character.
They are capable of such. Not all, but
Especially if one was a magic user before one became a vampire, then there's no reason they should lose such an ability.
Has anything been, like, requested of the town?
in terms of demands,
Yeah?
not that I have heard of.
I mean,
The report was limited and second-hand.
Yeah. Yeah. More just like, if you're doing that to a whole town, you gotta want something in the town, right? Unless that's
They have
just your
some-
new feeding grounds that you're setting up.
This is my fear. I know they've encroached into the town. Part of Cash's message was a plea, not for extraction, bless her, but for us to find a means to send more ammunition along for her rifle.
It seems like your paladin alone will not be able to take on a legion of undead without first solving whatever it is that is obscuring the sunlight. It's not just ammunition she needs, it is a small army.
And yet, the means to get an army there is some 700-800 miles away.
Is there anything you know about this town that
Eshberta
makes
is
it
a small enough town. It could almost be called a village. It's a village with, between the two, it's nothing like Athkatla or Neverwinter or Waterdeep. Primarily farming. It has no great political drama, no strategic value. They hunt in the Snakewood, they mine in the Troll Mountains when safe. I know they sometimes barter with Priyapur and the cities on the free road, but they mainly keep themselves to themselves.
You have mentioned that it would be difficult to send an army this way. Are you able to transport anyone there? Does it look like would getting there require just to travel the way?
It would take weeks
Yes, it would.
if we left today.
You do not possess any means to hasten that?
I have enchantments but can allow my men and I to be bolstered by Lathander to march for longer and need to rest less often.
I
So
see.
we have no flight or teleportation. That's
I
wizard's
see.
business.
I'm looking at the map, Jim. Where is this?
Near the Snakewood and the
it-
Troll Mountains to the east of the sea. To the east of Athkatla.
It's also a pretty big location, so if you zoom out a lot, you should clearly see it.
it's like a little wooden house?
Oh, okay. Eshberta.
Mm-hmm.
Troll Mountain. Okay. How many miles is that?
You just said 800, I think, or so.
Yeah, I think so about.
And then another 400 up to Easting. All right. Did he say how long ago all this happened? Like
4 days.
4 days.
It started 4 days ago.
I mean, it
Your
has been-
paladin, she's just killing the undead one by one. What does she hope to achieve?
Keeping the light burning in the town. Protecting Lathander's flock as enemies wander through the town.
Well,
The same. If you were all there and it felt hopeless, would you abandon the townsfolk to their fate? I think not.
Oh,
depends.
Maybe.
Well, we could probably arrange passage there in several days for our group. This ammunition you have mentioned, is that something you possess on hand, or?
Not immediately, but if you think it will take several days and you are willing to endeavour on this, I can certainly spend a couple of days amassing some ammunition for you to pass on to Kasha.
He will look to the group. Wherever we want to go, we need to secure the passage. But then I think that this might be a more pressing matter than we initially planned.
Surely she will not survive long. And the
She's a
people will
dancing
starve
girl.
if
She
they...
has survived 4 days so far.
Of course, but with dwindling ammunition, and I imagine food supplies for the town if they are unable to go and collect from their fields. How long could she have?
The town was not expecting this and was not in a time of hardship beforehand. I've lived through famines. In my youth, I imagine it will be a couple of weeks before the town starts to really feel differently about their horses.
Does seem like the potential, loss of life and risk to the populace is far more pressing here than our other mission, but it would also take us some time to arrive.
Listen, I've
Mhm.
got a counter idea. If we go find Guy,
Mm-hmm.
Clem said he'd give us a ride.
Mm-hmm.
What if we just change that ride to just a little further south, go to this place, and then once we help with this place, if we are still alive, we can try and go north a little bit and look into the Azure thing.
Yes, that is what I proposed.
Was that what you just said?
Kind of.
Guys,
Listen, I was thinking about something
I've got an
else.
idea.
Listen, I find
I
it just
hear?
great to have.
This works in
What if we
character
purchased
so
that
well.
Yes.
and disguised it as our own?
But why
I do-
male models?
I just like how aligned we are on this, because this is the second time you're just saying the same thing, except the last time you just were faster to the punch than me.
We're gonna wait a few beats and she's just gonna ask it again.
It's okay.
I've got an
Yeah,
idea.
I do feel like that would be the fastest way we can address the situation at all.
Is that right? Is there nowhere else this town can... where we can be teleported there? I'm sure there's a coin price. There seems to be a coin price for everything.
Quite possible, but it's I don't think it would be cheap magic unless there's some large organization that has teleportation circles that we could access, but as we're not a member of any such organization, even that would probably warrant some, I imagine, fairly high price.
Well, I mean, we are. But, we have to go find a guy first.
Yeah, I suppose that's the
You-
price we're
you
paying.
bought one in toil, not in coin.
Yeah.
Well, if it's gonna take a few days to gather the ammunition requested anyway, we might as well do that.
I will, of course, send you with Lathander's blessings when the time comes. To be clear, tangible, not figurative.
Thoughts and prayers.
Do they help with poisons and diseases by any chance?
Quite possibly.
Some holy water will definitely not go amiss when we go to Esporta.
Absolutely, I'll make sure you're equipped with it. And silver powder. Then I shall begin to amass supplies and await your return, yes? And wish you good luck in your whatever venture it is you have first.
Hopefully, we'll be back within a couple of days, not less, not more.
Yeah, hopefully we will see you real soon.
I will send Kasha the news and tell her to expect your arrival in several days, hopefully. Yeah. So you wish to go buying some things, did you?
Sweet.
Feel like we should.
We
No,
can do that
like-
on. We can do that on or off scene if you want to. If you just like, hey, I want this, I want this, I want this. We can do that. But if you're also looking to speak to any shopkeepers or follow up any leads, we can do it in character. So anyone who wants to buy something, tell me now.
I think we can do like a requisition list on chat of
Sure.
like,
Yeah.
I'm fine
Yeah.
with that.
yeah.
So you go and buy some supplies for the adventure ahead. What are those supplies? I'll probably read a list of them out at the start of the next session because we don't know what they are yet. But you go shopping. Whilst you are out shopping,
Oh dear. Ronnie comes back and says, "Firebrand!"
okay, yeah, you go shopping and you get the supplies that you want. After that, is it back to the Adventurers Guild?
Possibly.
Possibly, yeah.
Right. Or what are the other possibilities?
Jim, Asher would politely excuse herself from the group, saying she needs to run some errands.
Okay.
Does she now? Would you like some company?
No thanks. I'm just gonna, it's been a little rough lately. I'm just gonna take a bit of a walk.
Okay. Well, if we are reconvening the Adventurers Guild, Pip is going to start a new painting.
Okay.
I'll meet you all back at Adventurers Guild.
What is it that Asher is looking to do?
Dude, she's gonna go on a bender. She's just gonna go on a bender. That's her main goal. She just wants to go remove her
high.
mind from her head for the evening.
Okay.
I think Syria might go and try to find some information on Netheril.
Okay.
Whether there is like a temple of Arcana or just the library.
You could
The library
look
would
in
suit
either
you.
Ogma or regular. It's known enough. Is there anything specific that you're looking for, or you just want to go through Nevery's books?
I would like to, and I think Syria would tell Pip about this. Not that she's just encouraging the painting, but I think definitely Syria's very unfamiliar with magic, but she's smart enough to know that there might be like protection glyphs, things like this. So like she just kind of wants to she likes looking for traps. She likes sort of recognizing danger signs. What do Netheril danger signs look like? Sort of thing,
Make me an. Oh, what would I have this be when you have access to? Is it still history when you have the books in front of you? 5e best. Can you remember what I had you roll when you were going through books last time?
No, but it's all going to be the same because it's all no modifier. She does have a passive of quite a lot. Of 15 investigation. That's what she has.
I think investigation makes
But,
sense. You have the information there, but you need to go through it and make sense of it and put the pieces together. So yeah, make me an investigation check.
Is this for the books? If she's told Pip about it, he definitely wouldn't turn down a chance to go with and help with something book-related. In which case, I'll help.
Do you want me to help you?
Maybe we can each have a little
Turn
browse.
pages for me, sister.
Okay. I will click this +0. 8. Oh gosh.
It is a tricky and complex subject. All of the books. This is clearly such an advanced subject that all of the books that you pick up clearly have a huge amount of assumed knowledge by the reader. Like, I'm sure if I picked up a book on astrophysics tomorrow, I would understand certain words, but it would just be soup to read. It is soup for you to read. Dishearteningly, Pip, it is only slightly chunkier soup for you. You understand more of the terms, but like even the way they describe applications of Neferese magic almost seem like nonsensical with your not simple knowledge of magic. You are, a wizard of some skill and renown. You do piece that wards and runes do typically fade over time, and the fall, quite literally, of the Empire triggered many of the wards because of the large and unexpected physical disturbance, and that was said by some scholars to be part of what made the fall so calamitous, because it just triggered all sorts of explosions and effects and wards across the world when it happened. You do find mention that some of the things that are... You normally go deeper underground to find the more ancient parts of the cities that have been flung or driven under the earth. And that most Neferese wards just simply disintegrate those who breach them. There are conflicting accounts of whether it is actual true disintegration or if it was just banishing them to an otherwise unknown plane. But yeah, Neferese wards are extreme and give very little warning.
Well, that's certainly something we should be on the lookout for. He says, very nervously.
Okay. I hope we are able to identify one when we see it.
I would also give to you, as I know that it is something of interest, you find a reference in one of the chapters about this Neferese magic, that the Neferil were very interested in the magic of time.
That is interesting. Something
Yes, this concludes your research.
we'll have to look upon in the future. So yes, we might be disintegrated, which is permanent death. So we should be careful about that. But it's better to be armed with that knowledge than none at all. So,
Certainly. Makes me a little bit anxious. Could be trying to protect you all from something I cannot see or understand or recognize. But I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
we'll go slow and steady.
Obsidian, what are you looking to do during this time?
Good question.
Obsidian. Not much to buy, I think. If they all leave, Obsidian might just go back to the guild, spend some time there, not really involved in anything specific. Right now we seem to have a goal.
Does
Yeah,
Asher
looks like-
slink back during the night?
Yeah.
Does Asher need to roll a constitution?
Stumble in.
Okay, roll me a constitution save. DC 12 for your bender. Share a constitution. So, the night comes. Asher does not get a long rest, but Asher does not get a level of exhaustion. She manages to stave it off. But yeah, everybody else, I will prompt for a long rest.
So well rested at this point.
Asher will, however, qualify for a short rest.
And lose 1d20 gold.
What? Why?
Did you have any stock on you? I can't remember. Were you carrying? Mark down how much you're carrying, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the calendar, Gija, roll the day over. It is a new day.
Mm-hmm.
And you are in the Adventurers Guild. Meeting for Brecky Wecky, as I hear
Sorry,
it called.
what?
Yes, breakfast is being had.
So, this probably doesn't change much for us, but do we reckon it is at all possible that the Azure Court has gotten a wind of something happening in those Troll Mountains and changed course? Is it possible to just travel over land, not by the road, but through the wilderness from the road from Prior Pearl to Easting towards the Troll Mountains? A group of 40 on horseback, that would probably be difficult, but I don't know how magical their horses are.
I mean, it is possible. It is clearly an error in the pattern if they have been steadily traveling east, stopping at each settlement, and then suddenly wavered off the road. It's
Well, an invasion of undead certainly sounds like a worthy cause for a group that seems to help people all around, and especially when it's connected to an eclipse, although that probably wasn't at the time the case. Just a loose thought. Not much basis to it.
I still cannot comprehend why a settlement such as Esporta would warrant this sort of siege, or
It might just be on the way. Maybe there was something in the mountains themselves.
maybe. If it
Might
is some
be
sort of
just-
magic,
Yeah.
so targets the user.
Or maybe
Otherwise, it would
that
just be.
maybe that's where some sort of a gateway is, or a portal opened to whatever realm the undead comes from.
You feel a hand on your shoulder, Obsidian.
Hmm.
And a cleanse there. And a morning all. He gets a chair and sort of turns it and sits across it, Riker style, and looks at you, Obsidian, like, how are you doing, buddy? Are you okay?
You seem to have a goal, so yes, I'm focused.
Good, good. Anything you want to talk about before you go? I'm all ears for you, friend.
Probably no.
Okay. Your troubles are my troubles. Remember that, okay? Okay.
Glenn, in fact, if maybe I can extrapolate that, and if his troubles are your troubles, perhaps our combined troubles may also be your troubles. Uh, we've been made aware of, and she'll just summarize the Ishburta siege. I'm just calling it the Ishburta Undead siege. Have you ever had a magic as powerful as that? Something to cause a localized eclipse?
Well, it's unholy, that's for sure. I imagine it's whatever involves this undead. Perhaps, I don't know, a lich? Powerful wizard? Just guessing. I mean, I'll be honest. Although your troubles are also my troubles, I was talking more of matters of the soul with my friend Obsidian. You already know that your troubles are my troubles due to the significant aid being willfully and generously doled out. But as for what could have hidden this sun, are you sure it's not an illusion? Something to think about. Magic of the mind. Sometimes people are so in the soup, they don't even realize they're in the soup. I once knew a wizard enchanted a man to be convinced his breeches were on adequately. Arrested in 4 towns. Ah, it was a good time.
That would be a powerful illusion indeed. Well, that's where we'll be heading afterwards. We've had a slight change of plans. And then,
Eshperta rather than Priapa? Shouldn't be a
for
problem.
now,
We share many of the same letters. You seem
well, it's a short
tetchier
course.
than usual this morning, Sire. Is all well? In the grand scheme of things, you have your health.
I have my health. Thank you, Clem. Otherwise, no, there's many things that are not right. And I find myself slightly out of my depth. Heading into a temple that may disintegrate anyone that just crosses the wrong path. And then helping a lonesome paladin who is single-handedly trying to protect a huge village.
It's great, isn't it?
Not yet,
See, it's these
but
moments.
could be.
It's these moments that I feel most alive. You don't feel there's a certain. This is what they say life is about, is it not? These moments, these struggles, it's what I find most fascinating about the experience of life. No, maybe
Yeah,
I'm just romantic.
I think we're very different people, Clem.
I think so.
No offense.
Oh, no offense indeed. I find you all singularly charming. Well, Megira is ready to send you off whenever you're ready to this blasted swamp, to this Coatl temple, and the guide will be
Excuse me?
waiting there for you and lead you on your merry way.
Clem,
Yes.
you said Coatl temple?
Apparently, in the further information we've got from this Clarency, yes.
Is that the guy who disappeared?
No, that's my guide. I did tell you this last night. I thought you kept some
Florence.
sort of journal.
Yes, but I have terrible spelling habits. The letters just dance before my eyes. What do you mean?
once knew a chap with that affliction.
It's not an affliction. It's just a different way of perceiving the world.
Have you tried using yellow parchment? I hear that it's fantastic for helping the letters keep in place on the page for the mind's eye. It is said to
I
have
will
some
try
true
my next.
merit. True merit.
Please, Clem, focus. What is this further information you mentioned?
My dear, my focus is as sharp as the most wicked blade.
Indeed. Please, I ask again, what is this extra information you received from
Just
Clarency?
that the temple was to coatl or had a coatl or was built by a coatl. If the information was sparse, we're using infrequent communication, but something coatly is involved. The guide's not a coatl. Let's make that clear. She is just your regular, friendly-looking furball.
Would Sarah know, like, what sort of temples association would have a Kotal? Probably not.
I don't think particularly, but you, like everybody, you can all make me a history check if you would like.
Yeah, I super should.
Not the best rolls today.
Coming. There we go. 13.
I'm happy not rolling.
I was going to say, I wasn't sure if your rolls hadn't showed up again. Is Pip
No.
planning to roll?
I did.
Pip rolled.
Oh, he did. Okay, yeah, sure. So 13, 9, and 13. I don't think any of you would have any particular insight into the nature of those temples.
Interesting.
Right. It might be worth mentioning that we would like to change our plans regarding the preparation of the next teleporter.
Is this your Asher impression?
Is it?
Sire just said this.
Oh,
About,
Perhaps.
about changing the destination. But he was like, yeah, we have most of the same
Okay.
spelling.
okay. Yeah, totally
Catchy.
didn't catch
There is
that.
a disease in this city.
Apparently. We didn't get that protection from diseases.
True.
Could have been handy.
So yeah,
I think
are you
we- yeah.
Oh no, more questions.
No, we're
Yes,
ready. We're ready
I
to
am.
go as long as we have that list of things that we want to buy.
Let's assume you did. Very well then. Finish your food. Do be dears and take your plates over to Mila, so she doesn't have to come collect them. This isn't a diner after all. And then meet me out back.
Oh my goodness, guys! We've been here for days, and I haven't returned my plate once. I didn't know. I didn't know. I'm so sorry.
Pip, I've been returning your plates for you. It's
No,
okay.
I just said that.
I fear
Thank
we
you.
haven't returned our plates.
Okay, so let's do this.
That's all hands in, not Elon.
No.
Okay, head out back.
Returning plates. Sand by Mila.
No, thank you.
Yeah, you head out and Mila is there and Clem is stood. You see that Sangzor is stood quite close to Clem, seeming to be rather content. It does trot a few steps over towards you, Obsidian, and it's not one to nuzzle, but it gives just a sort of But it seems that you and the goat share.
Was very well timed by us.
Yeah. And Megira sort of looks across towards it. Good morning. I've managed to refine this quite nicely. It should take you very, very close to Clarency.
Right. Well,
The usual arrangement, if you please. And she brings out the flute.
Where? Clarency?
Florency.
A quick point of order,
The
because
guide.
I feel like
Oh.
We have
Verbal.
two people
Yeah.
tonight.
No, it's just Florency's such a weird because you said
It does kind of sound like
yes.
a place name. So I feel like
Yeah.
I keep writing it off in my mind as like one of the many fucking places that we've talked about how we need to go there. But yeah.
Oh my
yeah.
god, you move the map with right-click drag. Oh my god.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I totally thought that's where we were going. We're going to Zoroastria, right?
Yeah.
No, that's
Okay,
the
thank
guide.
god.
to meet Mr. Ashberta.
No.
Let's do this!
Okay.
a little thing that I think might be just too late for it, but Obsidian would at some point note that there might not be too many doors in the swamp, so if you really want to do something with the whole hall thing and just schedule a room or two, you probably should handle that before we leave.
We do have rooms
Well, that'd be-
scheduled.
Yeah, okay, cool.
I think so. There
Which
was
is nice because that gives Luca a week to make your custom bedrooms.
Oh, I guess you mean putting more in the queue, right?
I don't even know if that's a thing.
It is a thing because we did it with the rooms. Like
Okay.
there's definitely you can queue up. Like it's not like
Okay.
Kira's just holding her spell.
It's just like building in one of these mobile games where you have
know
to
what?
queue up all your buildings.
If it's ruins, they surely have a door or two. We'll make two.
we can take a door with us. You can carry a door. Surely it doesn't have to be a functional door.
Yeah, you guys are strong, right? What about if it's a really small door?
No.
How
Would
about
you have
we-
to
I think you
how
have to
about we
pass
turn
through
the
it.
key in the luggage and we climb into the luggage?
I am never climbing into the
Die,
luggage.
You die.
No, the luggage chooses me. I'd be fine.
So, Megira gestures for you all to stand before her. Bit more before
Whoops. Oh god. Oh, in a line. She's gonna zap us. It's the lightning bolt of transportation.
her. And she begins to cast the spell.
No.
At the last minute. No, okay. Yeah, and runes
Stay.
flip around you as the spell casts, and with a flash of purple, calm down, Gija, purple magic and light, you are all snuffed away.
Okay, but at some point we should examine the DM's obsession with this color.
It's just most of the magic and things that come with purple.
Unhinged obsession.
Like if it was red, it doesn't matter what I pick. If you knew red was a plot color, you'd be like, "Oh, these roofs, man, they're all terracotta,
I mean,
man."
Gira and Clem are both wearing red. Just saying. Just saying.
So,
Potion and sword and Dagger's token on Ash's token are both purple. Just
What?
saying.
I'd went to that as well. Yeah. Where is?
My Mink is blue though, right? So he's
Yeah. And blue and
Well,
red.
Makes. Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
Wait.
You are immediately struck by a chill as it becomes. Oh, I'm receiving correspondence.
It doesn't have to be fun. If that's my correspondence, then okay.
So you land with cold splat as several of you immediately go to like shin deep in bog water. The air thick with flies and frogs. But you do see a small camp burning some 30 feet away, keeping the flies at bay somewhat. And there is a figure sat next to the campfire who stands rather tall and turns over to you as you approach and gives a very small smile. Good afternoon.
Very friendly looking.
Are you the lot from Athkatla?
Hi, yes. Asher Basher, you're... And I say the name.
Then say it. Say my name.
Clarice? No.
Oh, no.
I've been thinking the same
Shit.
thing every time since you said it.
Okay.
I'm like, is this
She's
Clarice?
now
Yeah.
called Clarice.
Yep.
Oh no.
Should be fine.
Okay.
Her name has been
Should
updated. This is Clarice.
Be fine.
That's right. I'm Clarice.
Mm-hmm.
Is it just the four of you?
Well, yeah. As Mink just like pokes his head out the bar. Yeah, it's just.
Oh. Hello, little one. And what did you call him again?
Mink.
Oh yeah, Mink.
Mink the Stout.
Mink does pop his head out a little bit, and wiggle the nose in a friendly fashion. You notice. He's like, oh. And she sort of leans forward and like mutters under her breath for a minute. And he's like, I can guide you. He says that you take good care of him, and I think that is commendable.
Oh. Oh.
He says that whatever it is you sometimes do, the fumes get in the pocket to make him feel less than well, though. So whatever those habits may be, I'd suggest perhaps
Be more careful about that.
letting him stay home, perhaps.
All right.
I think that'll be good.
Does it mention that it comes from an egg?
No, but it's blue, so I suspected as much.
Oh, is that a thing?
Well, it was not as nature intended. But it is still obviously of nature. Will you all take some bread?
Oh, yeah. Of course. Thank you.
And she sits back down with a bit of what sounds like a bit of a wet squelch in the mud. But as you approach and look, you see that even it looked like her arse was about to hit mud. A large lily pad just seems to have emerged from the mud and now cushions her as a seat. Oh, sorry, and sort of moves a hand and lily pads pop up for each of you in the mud to sit on.
It's a druidic version of salmon chair.
Sarah feels very uncomfortable in the very heavy plate. Clarice, are you from this area originally?
I am, yes. I tend to... There's not much of a grove here, but a neglected forest still needs to be tended to. And so I spend most of my time here. You're from a city, I believe. That must be...
Dreadful.
I didn't wish to be rude, but I think I can imagine nothing worse.
Mm,
You must so rarely get to
Yes.
touch grass or the earth.
There are a couple of nice parks in the city, but
We also travel quite a bit,
that is true.
thankfully.
Parks are prisons, though, are they not? From how people talk, do the grass and the plants, are they not be forced to grow to how the owners want it to be? The grass cannot grow too tall or wild, can it?
That is correct, but it is still better to have some nature than none at all, I would say.
Oh,
Well, that's an entirely different conversation, is it not? I mean, look at the beauty of this. Completely
yes.
wild. I enjoy
it's
this. I enjoy mountains. I even the wild tundra. I have seen on a brief occasion. There is a beauty to the things that have not been touched by mortals, and although this place has sadly seen its fair share of it, it is healed nicely.
Yeah, I suppose there's a kind of
I'm ever so sorry, that bread. And sort of hands out
spooky.
quite a dense loaf that you can smell clearly has like honey laced through it, and you can see even like pockets of still wet honeycomb worked into the bread. It's almost like a big focaccia type thing. I didn't get your names.
Well, she got mine because
I
I
got
said it right
yours.
off the bat. Yeah.
Obsidian.
I'm Pip. Nice to meet you, Clarice.
City Gladstone.
So then we'll
Pleasure.
promptly dig into that bread.
A pleasure to make all of your acquaintances. And yeah, the bread is very good.
It is
If you're from
funny.
this area, did you know about the temple before it was found? What can you tell us about it?
So the temple actually used to be entirely underwater, but something has happened. It has not rained properly in some time, and there is a lot of. I won't bore you with the process, but when it does not rain for some time, the waters and lakes begin to lessen and dwindle. And this revealed stone in the centre of the lake, which over the coming days revealed what was clearly a segment of roof. Now, I myself am of a mind to leave it be. Just because we cannot get down there, I say I could if I so desired, and I'm sure that maybe perhaps you could. But I was of a mind to leave it be. Just, I'm sure it has its own thriving life in there, but eventually a traveller found it and gave word to other travellers who, given the nature of this place, assumed riches to be found, and I'd rather lead someone on their way than have them go stumbling off and hunt animals that should not be hunted and cut down the wrong trees for firewood. And so I led them there. And then several weeks later I encountered somebody looking for them. They did not make their way back. So I have led people there. And eventually, when the second one did not come back, I sought aid myself, as far as I was willing to stray from the forest, and spoke to somebody who happened to be from your clan, your group.
You say, is it just the roof that is accessible? Is the rest underwater?
I believe they swam down. They had
Something.
he had a tonic that would allow him to breathe underwater for a while. For a full day, I believe he said.
It would have been useful information to know from Magira and Clem.
Is that the unusual man?
Ooh,
Yeah.
the beard.
Oh, I've only spoken to him via the voices.
Just he used 5 words when he could use one.
He does say more than needs to be said. I myself prefer fewer, more important words and good food shared.
Glenn. She looks to Pip and to Asher. She knows Obsidian can swim quite well. Bibar, you're right in water.
It's not my preferred place to be, but I can manage.
Asher.
I mean, I can like, you know, do all right.
Forgive me, Pip, but you are rather small in stature, although I'm sure not in spirit, and some parts of this journey are quite deep pools. When we come to set off, I will permit you to sit upon my back as we go.
Oh, that's very generous. As long as I'm not too heavy.
I will not be as I am now, so it will not be an inconvenience.
Oh, okay. Forest still makes me feel a little uneasy.
Why ever so?
uh, where I'm from, the forests were very different and often dangerous in various ways.
Oh,
Even
these
They are.
forests can still be dangerous.
even the plants out to get you. That's not very comforting, actually.
The forests were out to get you. Which forest is this? Is it on this side or the other?
Pauses for a moment and says, "The other."
Oh. Would you like some more bread? I apologise and sort of
Oh, it's very
organise to
tasty.
offer a
Thank
second
you.
loaf to you. What brings you to this realm then, from the other side? Are you their guide?
It's a long story.
Continue to look at you expectantly. Not really, not perhaps familiar with that phrase.
The place that I'm from is has fallen to rack and ruin. So I guess you could say that I'm seeking a way to save it.
People do not plant trees anymore when we cut them down. I'm
Oh,
familiar with this rack and ruin that befalls the forests. Did your forest decide to fight back? There is something to be commended in that, if so.
it was more like the forests were corrupted.
It looks very sad.
Mm.
But you're seeking a way to uncorrupt them, you say?
I don't know if it's even possible, but I will continue to strive.
This place was bathed in fire and ash thousands of years ago. They say there was
Wow.
not a single tree survived. But look at
I
it
guess
now.
it's true what they say. Life really does find a way.
Who says?
Oh, I think it's just common parlance.
Oh. Well, do you require any rest before we set off?
Oh, I think we're all quite well rested at the moment, actually.
Bread will keep the flies away. Yeah, you notice the flies are sort of keeping a bit of a wide berth.
So it's just under the waters. I can see they're not. The ones here don't seem very deep, but for them to hide the whole temple, do you know if there's any creatures or beasts that we should be wary of or alerted to?
There are many giant snakes and crocodiles in this swamp. If it has been underwater for the longest time, I have no doubt that they will have found their way in, particularly the snakes. But other than that, I do not know. Perhaps dank places held underwater like that, there could be oozes. But the lake was not large enough to hold anything truly significant. You will find no kraken or leviathan or dragons roosting down here, I feel.
I'm actually quite fond of snakes.
Oh! And just reaches into her sleeve and brings out a golden and black snake that had been wrapped around her arm. And she said, "This is Meraxus."
And Syria will reach out her arm.
And like he gives it like a tentative sniff.
Sniff.
And then he's like, he doesn't like to be handled, but that is his way of greeting.
It's beautiful. Have we been companions for long?
He just chooses to travel with me occasionally. When he's ready to go, he will go about his business. And when he's ready, he will find me again. So, shall we to the temple?
How far away did you say it was again?
We should reach her by mid-afternoon.
Alright.
Very well. There's not as much camp as there is in this art. This is very... Maybe that's all your stuff you put down to sit down and join her. She's travelling very light. But yeah, she picks up her small stove, dips the bottom of it onto some like swamp water to cool it, and there's a hiss, and then she just unfolds and puts it into almost like a bit of a satchel. Yeah, and then she just twists and slowly turns into a large moss-covered mammoth with just grass and hair falling shaggy down the side. And then the trunk comes out and then stops before you, Pip, and there is a inquisitive look which you take to be permission to lift you.
I will somewhat nervously climb aboard.
Yeah, and she will lift you up onto her back. The trunk points in direction south, and she begins to slowly trudge off in that direction, which I think is an appropriate place for us to end our session. We will pick up next time, heading towards this swampy temple with Clarice the renamed. So yes, we will be back next week. Thank you for watching.